if it's a private company, you have no rights that must be upheld. You should actually read the Constitution. Freedom of speech is protected against government reprisal. Right, I agree. So what you need to understand, okay, I have read the Constitution. You need to read more than just the Constitution. You need to go to foundersarchives.gov and read why it is that our founders, that all wrote the Constitution, by the way, didn't expect it wouldn't last. And it didn't really, because we have nothing but regulatory agencies all over the people. Because who have benefited from that Constitution? The wealthy. Which is not what our founders envisioned, which is why I know there's many people in this country that hate our Constitution, most especially globalists. They should just get out, really, and, go play your game somewhere else. But that said, every founder said that our Constitution wasn't written for everyone. And not in some racist way. It meant that you had to be a moral people. They all said that. So that's why by the time they were leaving office and getting older, and they said it wouldn't last, because what they saw was immorality coming in. Because the way they wrote it meant that you didn't put a bunch of laws on the people, that employers couldn't turn around and tell you, didn't need to tell you that you shouldn't say this and that. You were a moral people. But that meant the employers, that meant the millionaires and billionaires, they needed to be moral people too. And most of them, not all, but most of them only gained by using our Constitution to make themselves wealthier while at the cost of the people. And yet then we're the ones. So I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's been the debate for a long time, especially with these public platforms, okay? They have their little minions that want to play God, okay? But no, I mean, unless, and every one of them, whether it's Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, the head of TikTok, they all are playing God. They are all saying that this is what will allow in a global community. I don't live in a global community. You can say it, but I live in America. That's where I live. I believe in the sovereignty of America. Every country should have their own sovereignty, like most countries want. And stop pushing the global community down everybody's throats. But who got on board with all that global community crap and globalism? All the millionaires that benefited from our Constitution because they're immoral people. That's the reason the founders said it was not a Constitution written for everyone. Because if you were going to get the immoral people that only want to rape your land, your Constitution, your rights away from you, and use your rights that our founders put, that it was supposed to be, that the millionaires had to be moral people too. They're not. Most of them aren't. They're just not. So that's the reason why they said it wouldn't last, and it didn't. I mean, we could say it lasted, but no, we have nothing but a bunch of jackass lawyers that have shredded the Constitution into a million little pieces because they're immoral people. Yeah, you had to be a mature society, a biblically. I know so many people would hate that, but it's the truth. Go read what the founders wrote. And they didn't necessarily take a position on a religion, but they believed in upholding Jesus Christ. I'm not advocating for, church and state. No, they would have never advocated for that because that's what they were fleeing. Was that, but no, but the thing is here, they still wanted, it had to be moral people, and it's not religious people that are moral, because there's a ton of religious people that are totally immoral. Look at the abuse done in the Catholic Church to children. It has to be worldwide in the millions at this point. So, but it had to be people that were biblically sound and biblically mature. Not just excusing away that I can do whatever I want and be immoral, all to serve my own pocketbooks. If you were a moral, biblically sound, mature person that had ethics and value system and all within you, then these billionaires and millionaires would, and it's not all of them, I would say maybe 1% aren't part of that group though. And that's not what our founders wanted. So something needs to be done about that. My answer is that there needs to be more regulatory on the wealthy. If you've already gotten your, say million or whatever, you're in the millions, like all the people at the World Economic Forum, okay, then you've achieved your American dream. Let's just say that. I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to earn more, but there should be more regulatory over you, because what they've all done is they've all used our Constitution to benefit financially while stepping all over the little people to do it. So that is absolutely not what the founders wanted. But they knew the only way, the only possible way our Constitution, the way it was written, no matter what dickhead lawyers say, the way our Constitution was written is it was for a mature, biblically, morally upheld people that truly walked with God, wasn't a part of a religion, but was a part of, that's what kept the moral foundation in place. But instead, people that are immoral, and it's really, you're wealthy, it's all the people heading up our institutions, they've all benefited from using our Constitution to take more freedoms away from us, while it's worked for them. That's not right. That's not at all what our founders envisioned. It's not. But again, that's why, at the end of George Washington's life, he was rather sad about the Constitution altogether, because he saw that it was just immoral people. So it wouldn't work if you're going to have just a bunch of immoral people. We have such immoral people that they want to bring in one-payer socialized medicine, which we're almost there anyway. But we live under a socialized society because we have associations and agencies and regulatory everywhere over us. That's not at all. Never, never, never was that what the founders envisioned. They wouldn't recognize the place, but they knew that's where it was going. Because none of those people that head up those agencies, no moral integrity, just not. I see it in my own profession at the top. No moral integrity, no decency, no being able to have truth within oneself, let alone being able to see the truth around you. So the Constitution was written way ahead of its time, because the people never matured to where they could respect it and honor it the way that it was meant to be, which was that with moral people, the wealthy and everyone, then that is what would keep that Constitution that was originally written in place. So, yeah, I see what all you guys are writing. I get it. The private companies, the free enterprise, right. And they've used that to their advantage. And they've always used it while stepping all over the little guy. So it's just my opinion that when you're so immoral that all you want to do is just be so gluttonous, you have to have more and more and more, well, you're just destroying the country and what its foundations were on because you're such an immoral person, then you've achieved your American dream. So it's time to let some other people have a chance, which is why, since they don't know how to be morally right, and they don't. My profession gets worse every day. It just does. It does. The tyranny, the foolishness, the pseudoscience crap going on. So, and I'm not saying that's because of the bedside people. It's because of the people that are heading up the institutions. They're immoral people. They're so immoral that they want little dictators over everything. That's what socialism is. Our founders didn't envision the government to take care of anybody, but they also didn't envision a bunch of wealthy, immoral jagoffs to rape our Constitution to the point that they've raped it to where it's really non-existent. So, yeah, something needs to change, and I would say it needs to start that a bunch of these regulatory agencies and associations need to be eliminated or defunded, and we need to head back to the beginning.